Okay, so on this final video that I'm gonna make of day 5 after the zero guard buzz cut, wearing this Captain America t-shirt, I want to talk about this again. Something I had said leading up to it. Now, I had hinted at it for a while, but for so long people wanted me to buzz off my hair, but I couldn't. I was legally bound to a contract because I was airing on a show, and in case you need to Google it, the show was on Lifetime. It was called This Time Next Year, and the episode was called Dudes from Different Latitudes. I don't know if you can watch it for free or if you have to pay $1.99 or whatever it works, but that happened. The show finally aired. I'm no longer under contract. I don't have to continue looking like this. By the way, this isn't me, this is my doppelganger. The whole show was about me trying to find this guy. Well, so for me though, you know, this show easily consumed a solid like year and a half of my life, you know, of having to look the same way. And I knew that if I did find him, you know, I wondered, well, what's his hairline going to be like? Because this package is from a couple years ago. And so what if my hairline is much higher than his? Spoiler alert, he's a Norwood 1 barely. I mean, he's more along the lines of almost David Schwimmer. Like he's got a low framed in forehead like this. And so, you know, I had the hairstyle, and I guess it looks slightly different on me because I have, by default, a taller forehead than him. So, you know, for the past year and a half of my life until this week when I buzzed it off, I was having to ultimately compete with a Norwood 1 hairline. So just imagine the struggle I was going through while making those videos for a year and a half with that hair, thinking, okay, if I find and meet him, how's it gonna look when it comes time to looking at us side by side? You know, as far as the hair goes, is that gonna be the thing that makes it obvious that I have a much different hairline than he does, as I'm, you know, also still trying to replicate a hairstyle that's going to look different if you're a Norwood 2.5 compared to if you're a Norwood 1. So those were some hidden struggles that I was going through for the past year and a half, and I just couldn't come out and clearly say it. Which, by the way, if you don't have access to watching the episode, I'll make it really easy for you. Just go on Google, type in Nick Shell, Dudes from Different Latitudes, what it was like to meet my doppelganger. If you Google all of that, you'll get to my blog, familyfriendlydaddyblog.com. And again, the blog post is something like what it was like meeting my doppelganger on This Time Next Year on Dudes from Different Latitudes. If you Google some form of that, you'll get to a blog post, which I should probably put a link in the description, and let's see if I get around to doing it. All right? If you do that, you're going to see still shots of the episode. You'll get to see me right next to this guy in real life. Okay, so I did a blog post about it. You can read that. I also met Kat Deely, for those of you who are European and have a better idea of who Kat Deely is, the host of So You Think You Can Dance. I obviously met her twice as I was on the show. So that was cool. She's a really cool person. But what's funny is, no, to answer the question, no, the hairline didn't distract from us not looking enough alike. If anything, distracted us. And when I do the first part of the episode, as I'm telling Kat Deely, I'm saying, you know, I don't know what this guy's gonna look like. For all I know, he could be 6'3". Well, sure enough, guess what? He's 6'3". And the reason that's funny is because I'm definitely not 6'3". I am barely 5'9". I mean, barely. I have to stand up perfectly straight, and then I'm 5'9". If I like do that, I'm no longer 5'9". Okay, so that's a major height difference between a guy who's 5'9" and a guy who's 6'3". A guy who's almost entering shortness, and then a guy who's like noticeably tall if you're 6'3". So that became the major thing that differentiated our looks, if anything did, more so than anything else. But definitely the hair wasn't an issue. But a lot of you were watching my videos back when it would have been back in October, right? When I went out there for the second video shoot in Hollywood. and they had this hairstylist that works for Access Hollywood, and he was the guy who cut my hair, and he had to cut my beard and my hair to match my doppelganger. And you know, so it was interesting because I have this guy in real life sitting right next to me, and he's looking and he's trying to match it the best he can. So they gave me that. I mean, it's funny, if I would have had to have paid for that haircut, I'm sure it was easily $500, you know. So I guess that's ultimate extra irony on top of all of this. During all of that, I wanted to do this. I really wanted to buzz off my hair, but I couldn't. And so I feel that this past week has been a major payoff for me, because finally I was able to part ways with the contract. The episode of my show is already aired, and I've already written my blog post about it on Family Friendly Daddy blog. And so I was able to, like, as it was airing, I was like, okay, let me do this. I'm done. I'm free, you know. And while I'm so happy to be a part of this TV episode, just that was a struggle I was going through. I was thinking, how am I going to look like a guy who has a Norwood 1? Because it looks like he is in this picture, and he is. Even I don't even remember him having any receding in his temples at all. So there you go. There's a secret I had to keep for so long. And if you can't have access to watching the episode, you can at least see where, when it aired, I took pictures with this camera of the computer screen I was watching it on, and you can at least see that. And you can also see there's a specific one where I talk about meeting Kat Deely. You can see a specific one where I talk about the song that I wrote. So I've written about it several times, but you can see the pictures of the episode that aired. And I'm gonna close this video out by reminding you what the show is. It's called This Time Next Year. That's the name of the show. It aired on the Lifetime Network, and the name of the episode was called Dudes from Different Latitudes. Okay? If you want to find the blog version of it, hopefully I'll put a link in the description for you to make your life easy. But if I forget, Google Nick Shell, what it was like to meet my doppelganger on This Time Next Year. If you Google that, you'll find the blog post. You'll see all this, and you can better understand my struggle and what it was like. My struggle for the past year and a half is, oh no, what if I go bald for my sake? It was all like, I hope I can just hang on to my hair long enough to make it look like I can be comparable enough to a Norwood 1. So anyway, check it out. I am free. I am free.